kitu funny ni ati the moment I started stunts, it's like people just switched. Everybody forgot I'm an actor. Like there's a time I went to do a stunt for a production where there's this guy who was supposed to commit suicide. So anajinyonga. So I was rigging the person, and they were talking about a certain scene that imewasumbua sijui kufanya nini. And I was like, you know what? Let me do that character. Then the producer's like, oh yeah, you're also an actor. So I don't know what happens, but people forget that I'm an actor. And funny thing is, in Kenya, right now I get more stunt jobs than acting jobs.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the Art Scene Lounge, where we feature key industry players in the film industry. My name is Cleopatra Koheirwe, and with me I have another dope person. His name is Lwanda Jawar. He's an actor and a stuntman. Mshaisikia stuntman? Welcome to the show, Lwanda.
Thank you, Boyo. Asante sana.
What is the meaning of your name, Lwanda Jawar?
Wow, okay. Lwanda Jawar. When I was being baptized, I was actually meant to be called Peter. Nilikuwa niitwe Peter. So now then, my dad says that the priest who was baptizing me, alimuuliza, why Peter? What does Peter mean in Luo? So Peter is apparently rock. And the Luo name for rock is Lwanda. Lwanda is rock in Luo. So they said it called me Lwanda. I don't know where Jawar came from, but Jawar means savior. So it's rock the savior.
A combination.
Yeah.
So will you grow your Lwanda or will you grow your what?
Nimegrow Nairobi. I was born in Nairobi, raised in Nairobi.
Where?
I was born at Mpisha Hospital. Nika study Jamhuri Primary School. Then after that, I went to Kitale, St. Anthony's, where I did my high school.
Football people.
Yeah, that I studied under a scholarship. I was a very good goalkeeper, by the way. That time, things were a bit tricky with football. Otherwise, right now, labda ningekuwa nashikia Arsenal, ningesaidia Arsenal. Ningewasaidia. Pali wako sahi ningewasaidia at least. I'm a Manchester fan. Yes, sir.
Jawar people. Most of them are not to typecast you guys, but need to say Manu.
Hey, the winning team.
That's Lwanda. Where ulianza as a model? Me, I knew you as a model. How did you get into the modeling industry?
Modeling industry. This was one day I was just at Alliance Francaise. Then I saw there was an audition, and the audition was for Fafa Fashion. That was a high-end event. So I randomly just decided, why don't I give it a try? So I went to, the auditions were being done in Milimani. I was very tensed by the way. So mi huyo nikaenda Milimani, I reached there, napata na guys wamezoea hizi shughuli, akina Boyo. So there was this guy called Ben Kanyaru. Ben Kanyaru
alipotelea wapi? Ben, you need to come to this seat and we talk about modeling.
Yes, sir. So I reached there, I found Ben, first he was auditioning the female models, and he was so strict. Like he used to show them an example of what he wants.
He used to wear heels.
Walk
on those heels better than us women. Ben alikuwa ananistua. Acha nsidanganye.
So me nilikuwa hapo, I was just like, okay, you know what? If it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, pia si yangu. So the guys' turn came. We were just told to walk to a certain point and come back. I did 1-2 walks and we were put aside. At the end of the audition, they told us, if you hear your name, you're in.
You're in for the show.
Apparently, I was the third person to be called. And I was like, what? Just like that.
Lucky. First trial, you're in.
just like that, and I became a model all the way to. I did so many shows. I modeled for so many designers. In 2010, I scooped Mr. Kenya. I presented Kenya in Korea, and after that.
How was that experience in Korea representing Kenya as Mr. Kenya?
Wow, that was, it was like a dream come true. It was amazing. Like when you go out there, that's when you realize how serious people take certain things. Because in Kenya, I didn't know modeling was such a big deal until I went to Korea, and I met models who are in Vogue magazines, guys who have done colognes and everything like that. And I remember there was a guy, Mr. Malta. He was telling me the day we were rapping. He was telling me that he needs to buy a good outfit because when he lands in his country, the airport will be full. And I was like...
So he's going to be like a big celebrity.
Yes. That's when I realized people take modeling serious. Me, I landed in Kenya, nilipata... Walikuwa tuka 6 by the way.
At least 6. Kipchoge had none. I think aliland after curfew. Hakuna mtu. Maybe the guy you called to pick you up. No one. And this is an Olympic marathon winner.
Imagine.
Several models.
Kenyans, we should nini mazi. We should embrace our own.
Our heroes.
Yeah. So Korea was fantastic. We got a chance
to. Was which year?
2010. We got a chance to model for the late Kim Jong.
The brother to Kim Jong.
Apparently, he was the biggest designer in Korea.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking about South Korea or North Korea.
No, it's not the brother. No, it's not the brother. Yeah.
Not the fashion design. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I met so many models. I had a good network. The experience I had there was priceless. And I think I came back a better model, a better person, just open-minded. Yes.
Yeah. Now, talking about the industry, you were there, you saw how people take it serious. Na venye hii yetu iko chini sana. What do you think we need to do to improve our modeling industry in Kenya?
It's pretty simple, actually. We just need to give Caesar what's Caesar's. Like if someone is good at what they're doing, we need to nurture talent. Because Kenya, the problem we have in Kenya is we actually wait for people to become superstars, and then now we look for them. We don't build them. We don't raise them. And you find by that we have many companies that would actually help people grow, but they only wait for the end result. How many people can struggle to the top by themselves?
Very few.
Very, very few.
There's so many talented people who stepped away because of the hardship, because of the frustration of the industry. Because why struggle for this when I can just make something else very easy?
Exactly.
So when you're wanafaa kuwapo hivyo outright talented, they could be top models sahi wako New York. Frustration, una quit.
Yeah.
You just focus on other things.
Yeah, and it's just lack of support. It is just lack of support. Everybody wants to save whatever coin they have. You find people putting up shows and they want to pay peanuts. You're a model, but yet you can't even take care of yourself the proper way.
You can't even pay rent.
Yes, exactly. So it's all about just focusing on young talent, and because we have good talent, we have really good talent here. Yeah.
So at some point, nikakuona Lwanda ndio huyo stage uko theater. Una act kidogo, you've checked in fully into the acting industry, uko first grader, uko Sense8, and recently Rafiki.
Yes.
Why the switch?
Well, it all began after high school when I was playing football. So I came to Nairobi, I joined Posta Rangers. From there, I joined, just the time I joined, I started training with Gor Mahia. Yeah. The time the time I started training with Gor Mahia, I think I had trained for a week. Then there was this time I used to live in Kino. So I come from Kino, I go to City Stadium. I reach there, I find the stadium is locked. There's no training, so I have to go back. Sometimes it was just frustrating for me. Then, so when I used to come back, I used to go to Alliance Francaise, where my brother used to do theater. And my cousin, Victor Ber, was the director. So I just used to go and chill there and just watch rehearsals and stuff like that. So there was this show they were doing. It was called The Gods Are Not to Blame by Oedipus. And one day I said it like a joke. I told Victor Ber, you know what, I think I can act. He didn't tell me anything. He just smiled and I brushed it off like that. So now, a week to the show, the main character, I think the wife had a complication because I think she was giving birth and he had to quit.
To take care of the wife.
Yes. Victor Ber sent me a message and told me that
this is your chance.
Yes,
you wanted it. This is yours.
I've been casted on the show, The Gods Are Not to Blame, and I'm taking the role of King Odewale. That was the main role. I was like, easy. So I got the script. So I started going through the script. Funny thing is, I read King Odewale, dialogue, other lines. Next page, King Odewale, dialogue. Immediately, I just started shivering. I panicked. I was just like...
Your main role in it, you've not
and it was all dialogue. But Victor Ber is amazing because he was patient with me. It was a crash program because it was just a week to the show. The day he introduced me to the cast, the guys were like, I could see it on their faces. They were like, are you sure? So I actually stayed with Victor Ber for that week. We used to literally rehearse at night at the balcony, shirtless. It's cold. We just had to do that because the lines had to come in. Thanks to high school, our cramming level was on point.
All book for exam in one day.
Yeah. So at the end of the day we premiered the show, it was amazing. The audience loved it. We even had a rerun due to public demand. And I was like, okay, so I can get paid here. Football, I wasn't getting paid. This side, I can pay rent. That's how I stuck into acting. And from there, we did so many shows with Heartstrings Ensemble.
So this was purely now stage?
Yeah, this was stage. Okay. This was stage. After that, there was a show running on KBC. I can't remember the name of the show. But I was casted for that show.
There was like a block 10 somewhere.
Hey, kuna show iko jina fulani weird sana. No, not Vioja. But it didn't run for long. But that was my first TV show ever. From there, I just started going for auditions. I was missing some, I was getting some. Then I landed Corner.
Corner was a big one.
Corner for me.
With big salaries.
Yes. It was a 1 year contract. It was good money. It was a good challenge. It was the main role. And I think that one just it took me out of my shell. In terms of acting, Corner molded me.
So now it took you to the next level.
Yes.
How was it acting with the big wigs like Nini Washera and Lenny Juma? How was it?
At first, it was a bit intimidating because working with such people for the first time, they're on top of their game. But what I loved about it is they pull you to their level. It is better to work with a professional than someone who is learning because you always have something to match up. So for me, it worked as an advantage because I had to reach their level. And that for me, in terms of acting, is the way to go. Yeah.
Kidogo mimi nakuona kwa Sense8. Hii ni Wachowski brothers, what are they called? The film that guys love about them.
Matrix.
The Matrix. The big with Hollywood imefika Kenya.
Yes, sir.
Lwanda big wig. This is a big show to land. How did you audition? How did you get the role?
I auditioned for the role. Actually, Nini Washera was the casting agent. So she called me and she was like, there's this show I'm casting. I think you should try this role. So first of all, I actually auditioned for the Makanga role, the one that was actually played by Paul Ogola. And I didn't land the Makanga role. So I was called back for another audition. And actually, the audition that I did mainly was for riding a motorbike. I was actually auditioning for a stunt department. But then when they went through the videos,
they saw you.
They saw this guy can do this role. And that's how I was casted as Githu. That was the Superpower Gang leader. I just remember Tom Tikwa, the director, telling me that in this show, we need the devil out of you. We need you to become the worst person.
The worst Lwanda nowhere.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And that's how I landed Sense8. Again, that was just magic.
Did you get a massive following the way people, when you land a Hollywood film, like let's say Wakanda, the way Chadwick Boseman got massive following because everyone is like, that's our king. Now did you get those following from international guys?
Yeah, I really got a good number of following from guys from outside, people from the States, France. I got a really good feedback from them. Actually, the feedback was better than what I got in Kenya.
Because a few people have watched it, and those few really love it. So I'm assuming, like me, nearly watched, and I really loved it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there are people like me outside there who really loved it and were amazed when it was cancelled, and were like, hey, how?
Yeah, I did. It was a storm. It was like a storm when they cancelled Sense8. I could see it on Twitter, the way everybody was disappointed. Even us guys were told to send videos just to try and hype it back. We had to record stuff, send them, me and Paul Ogola. We had to do virtual interviews. So we had a really good following from international audience and also Kenya audience. Kenya audience were a bit late. Actually,
celebs will watch reruns, India, Netflix.
Funny thing is that I get stopped right now at the supermarket, and guys are like, you're the guy on Sense8. I'm like, yes.
But the thing was 5 years.
Exactly. I think what they did is we wait and see the kind of storm the production will bring. Then now we start following it. Again, we only wait until we've seen something big. Then we follow it. Yeah.
So how did you become a stuntman?
Sense8 made me a stuntman. This is what happened. There was the scene where I'm riding a motorbike up the stairs, where I'm chasing Kafirs. That scene, they brought a stunt double from Germany to do the bike scene. Yes. The guy who came, first of all, he's white from Germany. Second, he's shorter than me. Third, he's bigger than me. So the makeup department, they tried to put makeup. They made him a bit dark. They put spikes on his hair. But on the first shot, the director was, no, it can't work. So there was a bit of a problem there when it came to the stunt department. And I was like, this guy is already here. They say he's the best stunt guy. Yeah, stunt guy when it comes to motorbikes in Germany. So I'm like, I went to my stunt coordinator. He's called Buffy. And I was like, how about this guy trains me to do what the production wants? Then
you do.
I do it myself. And they're like, are you sure? So we had our training for about 4 days, and he was like, yeah, I think he can do it. We shot it. It happened. I think the stunt coordinator
in your career as a
the stunt coordinator was so happy because
his job was
he had imagine he had to get another stuntman from Germany. This one is already here, so it was just a whole.
it was too costly.
Yeah, so I think he was so happy about that. He approached me and he was like, "Would you like to come and train stunts in Germany?" I was like, "Yes."
So it was sponsored straight from Kenya.
Yeah, I was
trained you there for free.
Yes.
Oh, what a luck!
And that's
from getting a role kwa stage huko when the other one had to attend to the wife to now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how long was the program in Germany?
I did my training for about 2 months. That was the first bit. I still have 6 more months to finish and get certified, which I'm planning to do. COVID just made the process a bit slower, but in future, I hope very soon I'll go and finish my stunt course.
So what kind of stunts do you do or you're known for?
Okay, I'm known for what I trained for in Germany. I trained for drifting, car drifting, motorbike stunts, but not the complete course for the motorbike stunts. I did open hand fighting, knife fight. I learned how to choreograph fights for camera. I did stair fall. This is when you are fighting and you have to fall down the stairs. There's a technique. There's actually a technique for that. I learned how to fall from a horse. We learned how to do high fall. Like, say you have a scene and you have to jump from the 3rd floor.
So basically, major.
Yeah,
stunts.
I did mostly the major stunts. Yeah.
So have you done those stunts in Kenya and in which programs?
Well, I haven't done everything in Kenya because
just the top ones that you've done.
The top ones I've done, of course, Sense8. That was the.
That's like the epitome.
Yes. I've done stunts for MTR, the Mission to Rescue. This one we shot it last year, and it had a lot of. It's a military film, so we had explosives. We had the cast has to handle guns. We had to know how to use big guns, machine guns like dushkas. There's the whole running. There's rolling.
This is the one where Melvin.
Melvin Alusa is starring. Mission to Rescue. That was also one of my big stunt jobs because I was a stunt coordinator in that film. I did a role, but a very, very tiny one. Because I was.
So when you're not doing the stunts yourself or acting, you coordinate actors to do particular stunts.
Yes, what I do on set is just make sure that safety measures are on check, because stunts, it's all about safety. Number one, I have to make sure
the believability of the stunts you're doing, is it real?
Yeah, if guys are moving in a certain way, holding guns, I have to make sure that they look, it's believable in camera. They have to hold the gun in the proper manner. Small bits that people actually pick up watching films that you can actually tell.
Yeah, like if it's a military show, and then you're holding your guns loosely, and you're like, no.
Exactly.
This one is not a
something very small, like, for example, when you're holding a gun and you're moving, your finger is not supposed to be in the trigger. You always have to be outside the trigger. But you find it is something very tiny. But when someone is watching, they will know these guys are not professionals. And yet you're supposed to be like an elite squad or something like that.
Actually, what's it called? Become that role.
Yes, supposed to embrace the role and become that person. Yeah. The biggest stunt I did in East and Central Africa was flipping a Land Rover. Same movie, Mission to Rescue. That for me was
a new one, an old one.
No, it was an old one. It was a Land Rover 110.
Oh, that's a good Land Rover.
Yeah, so the scene was there was a chase. Actually, guys, you should watch Mission to Rescue. There's really good stuff in that movie. There's a car chase between some military and Al-Shabaab. Then at a point, the Al-Shabaab, they finally managed to dish their car somewhere. Then they come on the road. They wait for the Land Rover. When it comes, they open fire. The driver gets shot. He loses control, and the car flips. Wow. That was the first car flip in Eastern Central Africa. Apart
from others that outsiders come and do it, this is done by a Kenyan.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Have you ever gotten? What's your worst injury in any stunt?
My worst injury was when I was actually shooting Sense8. It wasn't bad, but that was like.
What kind of injury?
I fell. I think it was on the sixth take. I fell from my bike and had a scratch on my shin. It wasn't that serious, but when it comes to injuries, I've never had a major injury during stunts. Hopefully, I will never. But that's the injury I can talk about. Yeah.
What's the craziest thing that has happened on set while you're doing a stunt or coordinating a stunt?
Craziest. Wow. I should I say this?
Because it's part of the job.
Well, okay. The craziest that happened is we were shooting. Then all the actors had their guns. Of course, they had blank bullets. So there was this time some actors were doing a selfie thing and just playing around. And one of the guys pulled the trigger and the gun went off. And it was so close to the other actor's hand. It was so close to their ears that he had a burn with the gunpowder. He had a burn on the palm. Yeah, that's
with the blanks.
With the blanks. That was crazy. That was very crazy. And the worst thing is that the bosses were on set. Yeah. For me, that was the craziest thing that has ever happened on set. We've done crazy stuff, but all went as planned. Like we had massive explosives on set. And but all that went well.
This selfie moment that everyone let loose, Nika.
Yeah, just one mistake, and it was bad because the thing, if it was just a bit closer to someone else, it can actually make you deaf. Yeah, if the gunpowder gets your eye, you can actually go blind. Yeah, so.
You learn from such things.
And actually, it was my bad. It was my bad because as a stunt coordinator, when they say cut, we should check the guns and get the magazines out. The guns should be safe. Yeah. So that for me, it was
a teachable moment.
Yeah.
For you.
There's another crazy thing that happened on a set. This set, we were burning a house. We're supposed to burn a house. So before burning the house, we had a few scenes in the house where we have a small fire here, a small fire there. We have a few, some few drops of the roof burning. But then there was a mistake because the roof actually caught fire before time. The guy who we had the fire brigade on set, but the extinguisher. The guy ran with it on set. When he pressed it, it was empty. It actually just blew air, which helped the fire. Yes. There was panic on set. We could not put off the fire. The truck had to come. By the time the truck was coming, the roof was halfway burnt.
So again, retakes plus
we had to wrap. We had to wrap that set for that night until we had to make sure the roof is made once again, because it actually caught fire. Even the beams were burned and everything like that. That was also another.
Set up a whole set.
Yes. Yeah.
Are there stunts which you cannot do? Which unaambiwa Lwanda today unakuwa Fast and Furious. From this building, I want to see in the other building. Are there stunts you don't do?
Yes, there are certain stunts I don't do.
Which ones?
Because for me, every job I take, I have to make sure that I'll do it to my best, and the safety measures will be at 110%. I'm not the kind of person to challenge myself. Okay, challenge is good, but I wouldn't take up a job that I'm not sure and I haven't trained fully for it. Things like, for example, if I'm asked to jump from one building to another on a bike, it is possible, but my training level hasn't reached there. So at a moment like that, it is always best to talk to the production, let them know how the situation is. If we can get professional stunt guys, stunt bikers who can do that, then we'd rather source for them. Yeah, rather than trying to do something and then
Try to do your script.
you end up dying.
Do something else. Like I've done in Kenya.
Yeah, but mainly the challenge I've gotten with the kind of work I've actually taken up is mainly is budget. You find the script says we need to do this and this and that, but
ambitious script with low budget.
With the low budget, and when it has low budget, what low budget does, it takes my stunts lower. Like for example, if there's a stunt, this is like 20 guys are supposed to be fighting, and I'm supposed to choreograph this fight, and we have the main character, we have the second to the main, and these guys, they're actors, they're not stuntmen. So me as a choreographer, with the fight I have choreographed, I want them to have stunt doubles, because if they have stunt doubles, we'll have a better fight, and the show will look much better. And then the production is like, oh, you know what? We can't afford stunt doubles. You just have to train the actors to do that. So for me, training the actors, what that does to my choreography, I have to take it a lower notch, because if they can't do it, they can't do it. And mostly you find I can't train actors.
And then they can't fight aggressively because of injuries. And then
Yes.
the next day you're supposed to be on set.
Yes. Mostly they will never give me the fight I would have gotten with a stuntman. Yeah. So budget is also a very, very it's a hot zone when it comes to stunts and the end product.
Then again, it's watered down.
Yeah.
Now you got lucky. You were sponsored to Germany for learning stunts. But there are young guys here who can also do good job like you.
Yeah.
How can they get into stunts? How can they become stuntmen?
Well, that's a very good question, Boyo. Actually, it's something that I'm planning to do. I'm planning to just start basic training for like things that actors need to know how to do, things that don't require stunt doubles. Like, for example, an actor is told to drive a car while they're saying their lines. This is something every actor should be able to do. Don't be an actor and you don't know how to drive. We don't need a stunt double for that. Things like running, swimming, these are basic things that actors should know how to do. So I'm actually planning to start a training school for stunts, because I've even asked around. There's very positive feedback. People are willing to do it. They're just waiting for me to be ready. What is keeping me still lagging behind is insurance. Insurance has to be top notch, because during training, that's when people get injured. And when you're coming for my stunt class, of course, I will have you sign a disclaimer.
Lwanda is not liable.
You have to sign a disclaimer, but as much as I sign a disclaimer, I have to have insurance, because if anything happens, my company needs to be able to cover you. So in Kenya, I've tried to look for insurance company that could cover stunts. Apparently, there's no package for such they've never.
Yeah,
There's a guy who asked me, hii stunts unasema, stunts ni nini? So I was like, okay, for example, kama tunafanya cinema, then kuna mtu anafaa aendeshe gari iende igonge ukuta. So huyo mtu akipata, of course rig, the car will be rigged, they'll have atakuwa na helmet, everything, but you never know what happens. Anaweza umia mkono, anaweza pata fracture, something like that. So hiyo ni stunt. That is now the guy is doing stunts. Then he said, so you go looking for trouble, then sisi to ensure.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so now that's how you've seen it. So
he's interpreting it in his own way.
Yes, because normally
ensure something that I will have to pay.
Yeah, because they're like, if you're looking for trouble, then definitely you might. Chances are you'll get it. Yes. Normal insurance is you pay for insurance, but chances of you getting that accident is minimal. You might go for probably 2 or 3 years. By the time you are getting it, the money has accumulated enough.
Yeah. For them to pay
but
you.
This is someone who is looking for trouble and you want us to insure you. They're like, we don't have that package. So they advised me just to insure the company and whatever stuntmen I have at the particular moment, they'll be covered with the company. So that is what I'm still working on to start my stunt academy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, you are married to a Ugandan singer, Madame Cleopatra
Koheirwe.
I used to dance her song. Obsessions though.
Hey, Jangu
tulidance sana. How did you guys meet?
Well, we met on the set of Corner. Yes, when I was doing Corner. When we were shooting Corner, she was introduced from Uganda, and I was actually told by the producer that we have given you this person, introduce her to the set, let's make her feel comfortable on set, because I was the main character, and from there, just everything went my way. Yeah.
Get a wife on set lottery.
Mm-hmm.
So far, how many kids?
One. We have one kid. Hopefully, another one will be on the way. Hopefully.
Hopefully means this.
Yes, hopefully. Yeah.
Is it hard dating someone who is working in the same industry as you? Or being in a relationship with someone who's in the same industry?
Well, it's a bit tricky. I would say it's a bit tricky. There's a thing that comes. Like, for example, you find I've been given a scene where I need to be romantic with another person. We have a kissing scene, stuff like that. So for her, even when we were doing Corner, when I had such scenes with my Corner wife, Sion Torome, it was...
Sion is fire.
Very. It was... we used to talk about it, and she was like, you know what, you have to do what you have to do, as long as we are being professional. But she never used to watch the scenes. She would probably watch it later on TV, but on set, she never used to watch it. And I understand, because even me, when she had a scene that is a bit tricky, there's like a thing that you feel. Yeah, but what I would say is, it is not impossible to date someone in the same industry, but it's a challenge. What you need to do is, you just have to be professional. Yeah, if you put professionalism number one, then things can work out. It is a big challenge. Even in Hollywood, it is a very, very big challenge. Yeah.
What projects are you doing now? Osabu umedisappear after Rafiki hatukuoni.
Well, right now, I'm trying to build up my planning for the training, like I told you earlier. I'm trying to see if I can get sponsorship from certain bodies that probably would want to come in. I'm having talks with the Kenya Film Commission and see how I can spread my wings to different counties. People have small projects they are doing. Right now, script writers are getting to write action. They're including more action in the scripts. So I would just want to try and see if I can get in touch with all those people doing stuff, small films. Because however small the film is, if you have to put as little as a slap, it has to be proper. It has to look correct. Yes. So I'm actually planning. All my energy right now is focused on developing my stunt company and just start training guys in the industry.
Ebu usipote kwa acting. We shall miss you.
Kitu funny ni ati the moment I started stunts, it's like people just switched. Everybody forgot I'm an actor. Like there's a time I went to do a stunt for a production where there's this guy who was supposed to commit suicide. So anajinyonga. So I was rigging the person. And they were talking about a certain scene that was funny. And I was like, you know what? Let me do that character. Then the producer's like, oh yeah, you're also an actor. So I don't know what happens, but people forget that I'm an actor. And funny thing is, in Kenya, I get more stunt jobs than acting jobs. Yeah.
So I think stunt was your line.
Yeah.
You just didn't know.
Stunt is my main line, actually. Yeah. But my reason for training stunts was I did the training so that I can perform my own stunts. When I'm acting, I can do my own stunts. But it
Go finish now, come teach us.
Yes.
Thank you so
much. That is the way.
Karibu tena.
Asante sana.
Thank you guys for watching. Join us next week for another awesome episode. Comment hapo hivyo kwa comment section. Who do you want to come for the interviews? Also subscribe. We need to pay rent. See you guys next week.